Hey, Pops, we're on YouTube.
I see that. I see that. All right, go ahead and kick it off.
Father, thanks so much for this day, this opportunity for us to make a big impact, sharing so many great information with the veterans who decide to join on today's webinar. Pray for the call to go well. Pray that folks are truly impacted and get a lot of value from this time. Ask great questions, and I pray you just help us to help as many veterans as possible get the benefits they deserve. Lord, we love you. Thank you. In your son, Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. All right. So let me get screen share and pull it up and make sure that works and clicks, and you're gonna roll from there, son.
All right.
Okay. Making sure.
Give me a second.
Okay, you good. Got my
All right. Good to go.
okay. Let me pull it up. It's alarm off. See that, son?
No, you're only you're sharing your browser. You're not sharing the presentation.
All right, let me stop that. How about that?
Looks good.
Okay, click through.
Good deal.
See, when we're gonna do that PACT Act? Let me see. Next Thursday night.
Oh, yep. The 23rd, next Thursday. Yep.
Okay. Man, I'm excited about that because I don't know how many people are gonna get at nighttime. Yeah, kind of help them along the way too. Cool. It's good. All right. Back to the first.
We already got 4 people watching on YouTube.
Hey, welcome everybody. Just going through my vet. You know how it is. You got your pre-flight checks. Welcome everybody. It's Ranger Johnson. Just kind of. Uh-oh, I don't know if I messed that up, son. Let me see. Let me know who can still see that. I don't know if I clicked the wrong button or not.
Yep. Still.
Okay, cool. Got it. All right, good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Hey, everybody. Welcome. My son will be running YouTube. This is Ranger Johnson. Thank y'all for tuning in. We were up way early. You know how the military works. You hurry up to wait, right? So we jumped on here right now to get everything set up to make sure everything was working properly. And I normally just kind of chop it up with the vets from time to time while we're waiting on everybody else to catch. We will start right on time at the top of the hour and have about a 20-minute presentation. And then after that presentation, I'm going to get all the questions we can answer between now and, top of the next hour. So depending on the time zone you're calling from, in East Coast, it'll be 1300 getting started to 1400 Central Time that I'm in, 12 to 1. So total time would be probably with my class 20 minutes, and then questions and answers. We normally try to round out this whole thing within 45 to 50 minutes, respecting your lunchtime so we can get you back to doing whatever you're doing. Son, can you communicate with the folks on YouTube right now? Because I can't see the YouTube stuff. You can be able to take their questions.
Yeah, there is a chat. There's a chat here where they can post questions in the chat. So
okay,
yeah, I can show those and tell you those.
Okay, good. So what'll happen at the end of the presentation, my son will kind of start going through questions about what we do and things like that, and we'll get as many answered as possible between the end time. So any question you got about getting your VA benefits, things of that nature, that's what we talk about. You can put those in the chat, and my son will help me out going over those. So thank y'all so much. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Where you calling from out there? What branch of service were you in? Anybody? If you'd like to share that information, where you calling from? What branch of service were you in? All right. It's all good. Of course, this is Ranger Johnson. I'm retired Army. I did 20 years in the Army from 1980 to 2000. I've been retired now, going on 23 years. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Been retired 23 years. So, it was a blessing to make it to retirement. And it seems like this time after retirement is going a lot faster than my time in, right? It seems like 23 years I've been retired is boom, shot by. And, I can remember having been in 5 years or 4 years and re-enlisted for a couple of years. And then I remember at 9, I re-enlisted for 6 years. And at the end of that 6 years, which put me at about 15 or 16, I was just trying to hang on and make 20. But I enjoyed it, man. Enjoyed my time in the service. Had my back not gotten jacked up, I probably would have done more than that. But I'm a lifer, right? Love what I did, enjoyed it. I mean, just like anything in the military, no one likes everything about their job, right? I mean, come on, let's be real. But for the most part, I did enjoy my time in the infantry and as a drill sergeant and Ranger Battalion, and spent 11 years as a Green Beret Special Forces. So that was just, man, highlight of my career. And, I end up retiring at 20 years as an E8 First Sergeant. And I always share with everybody, I literally wanted to do 30. I did. But once I hurt my back early in my career. Actually, I had about 7 years in when I initially hurt my back in the Ranger Battalion. And, by the time I had 13, 14, 15 years in, my back was so jacked up. I was trying to do everything I could just to hang in there and make it to 20, And when I retired at the age of 37, I could barely walk to the mailbox. And thank God for therapists, and I started seeing chiropractors and things of that nature just to get my back functionable, right? And of course, you'll hear my story about the VA and the journey today to get to 100%. I mean, that took me 17 years from the time I retired to making it to 100%, permanent total, 17 years. And what I tell people all the time, my determination to get there really was about what I believed. Had nothing to do with the VA as far as, do they think I deserve to be 100%? I don't care. It had nothing to do with any other vet. It had nothing to do with anybody. It's about, my back was jacked up, and literally, I personally know if my back hadn't have been hurt like that, I would have stayed and made Command Sergeant Major, because that's what I wanted to make. And I was well on track to make E9, making E8 with 13 years in. But, that didn't happen. So I had to shift and regroup and keep moving forward. I mean, that's what we always do. So I get it. We're going to have people on the call today from all around the country with various issues and, sitting at different positions in the VA system. Some people may not even started to even try to go get their benefits because they may not believe that they deserve those benefits. But you do, right? You do. And, one of the things I always talk about in my presentations, and I'm giving y'all kind of the presentation before the presentation, because we got a little time, we could help more vets get their benefits if they only believe they deserve the benefits. And a lot of us, somebody needs some more than me. This guy, this vet can't walk, or this vet's in a wheelchair, and things of that nature. Well, the VA system is set up for you personally to get your benefits. And what people don't realize, what a lot of folks don't realize, the VA is actually set up to serve 20 million vets. They're set up and financed to serve 20 million, but only about 25% or less than 25% of the eligible veterans that can get benefits or even getting benefits from the VA now. About 25%. So that's under 5 million. So if there's 20 million vets in the country, which the last numbers I saw said between 19 and 20 million veterans, people are dying, and people are getting out of the military. So that roughly has been that way for a few years, between 19 and 20 million vets in the United States. But out of that, less than 25% are in the VA system or rated or getting something from the VA. So there's more vets not even trying to get benefits and not getting benefits than that are getting benefits. And a lot of it is due to just not knowing, right? I remember, I don't know if anyone's put anything in the chat yet, son. If they do, you can just let me know while I'm kind of talking. But I remember distinctly when I first retired, right? I retired from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and ended up moving to Mississippi, where one of my sons got a scholarship to play basketball there. That was Justin. Gino ended up going there also and getting 2 degrees, accounting, and he got his bachelor's and his master's in accounting and CPA. But anyway, so we moved to Mississippi, and I was actually traveling around the state doing leadership motivational speaking. That's what I do still to this day in schools and businesses and things of that nature. And I met an Army guy at the VA in Jackson, Mississippi. We got introduced down there, and he had a passion for helping and motivating and doing prison ministry and helping our kids like I did. And we linked up together. Me and Troy did. We started, traveling around and speaking to kids all over the state of Mississippi. And Troy was at 100%. Still is. He was 100% permanent total. And I can remember one day I'm talking to him while we're riding in my vehicle, and I said, you know what? I think by that time I was maybe been 20% at that time. And I said, man, the VA this and the VA that, and I'm at 20%. He was like, what do they got to do with anything? You can reapply. I looked at him, like a country boy, like a hog looking at a wristwatch. And I was like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me I can go back and apply? Because at that time I'd been retired for a couple of years and I heard everything that we all hear in our barbershops, right? The barbershop VA lawyers, things like, well, if it's not in your medical records while you were in, you can't get paid on it. Things like, well, if that's what they gave you when you got out, you got to stay stuck at that percentage. And I believed those things back then. And he was literally the first vet to look at me and be like, that's not true. That's not true. And so Troy told me his VA story, and it was very compelling. While he was in Germany, he was actually playing basketball on base, and he went up to take a layup or a shot, and a guy undercut him, and he fell right on his upper back, which his neck basically, and he broke his neck. And it did not paralyze him, but at that time, he had me kind of laughing. It wasn't funny, but the way he told the story was funny, if you catch what I'm saying. He said, man, back then we had to go for a medical board. He said, I went before a medical board in a full upper body cast and a halo on my head with a broken neck. Now picture this guy walking into for an out processing appointment to get his benefits or whatever it was back in those days. Full upper body cast and a halo for his neck. And he said, I walked out of there with 10% disability. That was it. I said, what? With a broken neck and a full upper body cast and a halo, 10% disability. And he said, I got back to Mississippi. He said, I was so frustrated because I had to get out of the Army and I wanted to stay 20 years. I didn't want to get out, but I had to get out on that medical discharge. And he said, I just found a guy who helped me, and this guy helped him eventually get to 100%, which he should have been when he walked out. But his story alone encouraged me. And what happened with that is I just started working through the system. Had no idea, didn't know how to do it, didn't know what steps to take. And I literally just started working through the VA system myself, because I'm a writer. I write and publish books, and I do research. That's what I do in my other world, my other life, right? So I started putting it together and just started making my way through the system. And finally, I made it to 40% with a couple of different things. Ended up moving to South Louisiana. And when I got down here to South Louisiana, here I'm gonna take away some things people say about, like I tell people, all VA doctors are not bad. All VA doctors are not good, but you can find some good ones in the VA system. And I did. And when I moved to South Louisiana, I found a VA doctor. I live in the Lafayette, Louisiana area, and I found a VA doctor. I started seeing him, and I never forget my first visit with this VA doctor. I was saying stuff like, well, they said, and he looked at me and he said, never tell me what they say, right? Never tell me what they say. What do you say about your issues? What do you say? And then I said, wow. Yeah, he said, never tell me what they say. What do you say? And I can remember I would see him and I started learning about the VA, and he would take notes. That's one of the things we teach in the Ranger method, is getting a VA doctor. Because when you do go to the VA, they type that stuff right in your notes. And so I started going up the system, And I can remember seeing him one time, and he had told me, he said, now, you were a paratrooper, weren't you? I said, yes, sir, I was a paratrooper. He said, how many jumps you got? I said, over 120 jumps out of airplanes. And he said, why hadn't you put in for your knees? Do your knees hurt? I said, yes, sir, they hurt, my knees and ankles. And 6 months earlier, he told me to apply for my knees. He said, you need to apply for your knees. And this time he wasn't as nice. He's like, apply for your knees, if they're hurting. So, little stories like this, and working my way up to the top and getting those things done. It took me 17 years, and I finally made it to 100%. And when I made it to 100%, I was still frustrated and angry. The Bible says, be angry, but don't sin. And that's something that I'm always working on, to be angry, but don't sin, So I was angry. I was frustrated, because my thought process was, why did it take me 17 years to get what I felt I should have gotten day one when I walked out of the military? Like why? And so what I did is I simply started writing. I wrote about it. Took the notes in my phone. You know, my background, again, I was a drill sergeant and instructor, you know, Ranger Battalion, things of that nature, Special Forces instructor. So I just literally started writing. I wrote 6 steps down on what it took for me to get to 100%. And I started just giving those away. Crazy initial story. So May of 2017, I was driving to Dallas, Texas from South Louisiana. And I get on out, I get out by Terrell, Texas, stop at a gas station. And when I stopped at this gas station, had my Ranger hat on, and another veteran saw my hat. And he said, "Hey, brother, you a vet?" I said, "Yes, sir, I am." And we started a quick conversation. And this guy was working on the road out there. He had his, you know, hard hat on, blue jeans, and a little vest. You know, he was sweaty and everything. And I said, "Yeah, man, I'm a vet." You know, I said, "What about you?" He said, "Yeah, I served 8 years. I'm a combat vet also." I was like, "Brother, you get any assistance from the VA?" You know how this conversation went from there. "Oh no, the VA, you know, they screwed me over, blah, blah, blah." I said, "I hear you, brother." I said, "I hear you." I said, "Listen, I just got to 100% a few months ago. I wrote some steps down. I don't know if these steps will help you, but I'm going to email them to you and you can roll from there." So I ended up emailing this veteran those statements, and a year went by. A whole year went by. So May of 2018, I'm sitting on my couch and my phone rings. I got all the vets listed as vets in my phone. You know, when their name pop up, it says, "Oh, there's a vet." So I pick up the phone. Hey, vet. Like I really remembered this guy. He's like, "Ranger Johnson, I'm so-and-so. Do you remember me?" I said, "Bro, I'm so sorry. I don't." I said, "I meet so many vets, but please refresh my memory. We met at a gas station, you know, off I-20 by Terrell, Texas." Yeah. So how you doing, brother? He said, "I made it." I was like, "You made what?" He said, "I got my VA benefits." I'm like, "Really? How? What did you do?" He said, "I did what you emailed me. I followed those steps." I said, "Wow." Then he goes, "It ain't over yet. I got some good news for you." I said, "What?" He said, "I got my back pay." I was like, "Wow, how much?" This was mind blowing, man. He said $150,000 for him and 13,000 for his daughter who was in college. So you're talking about $163,000 back pay. And this guy, this veteran, blew my mind. And he was like, "Man, thank you. You changed my life." And it was amazing. And vets, this was literally a 15-minute conversation, if that. I say 10 to 15 minutes, you know, because my wife was in the truck. I couldn't talk too long at the gas station. And I emailed him the information. He followed it and got his benefits. Well, that got me so fired up. That was actually the first vet I ever helped getting benefits in 2018. The next vet I called was my wife's cousin, Derek, out in California. And I've been trying to work with Derek for years. And every time I tried to work with him, he'd go, "Cuz, you know, VA screwed me over in Dallas and blah, blah, blah." You know. And I said, "Man, listen." So watch this. When I made the phone call to Derek out in California, out in LA, of course, I'm family. "Hey, cuz, what's up?" "Hey, cuz, guess what, man? I just helped a vet get $163,000 total in back pay and get to 100%. Guys, I went from cuz to expert immediately. Right? I mean, I went from cuz to expert. Bam. Then he says, "Oh, what do I need to do?" I said, "Man, I'm gonna send you the information." And we started working on it. He was at 0% at that time. And this was May of 2018. And so we worked with him and he got all the stuff together and he filed and he uploaded everything. And he went from 0 to 90% in 90 days. And he got to 100% by that next April of that next year of 2019. So a total of 11 months total to go from 0 to 100%. You know, I mean, just story after story, man, of just helping vets. Really, you know, I just volunteered for a couple of years until it got way too big for me to do. And that's when my son came on board and during COVID, and we started Company Champions for Veterans. But the reality of the whole situation is I always love to tell people, man, I just love helping vets, helping you get the benefits you deserve, teaching you this complex system about the VA and how the VA operates. Uh, you're smart enough to do it. You know how to listen. You know how to follow instructions. You just need some help getting pushed in the right direction. And hopefully today we can give you some information about that. If you want to move forward with us, great. If not, it's just going to be a fun call for me because I enjoy, as you can tell, talking to vets. And I've been doing a lot of talking for the last almost 20 minutes with hey, we got one vet just came on a Zoom call. We got on a Zoom today, and we're also running Facebook, I'm sorry, YouTube Live, which my son runs all this stuff. I run none of it. Hey, out there, if you're on Zoom and you want to share where you're calling from and what branch of service you're served in, feel free to do so, and that'll pop up. And between the next 5 minutes, I can look at that and give you a shout out. If you don't want to share, that's fine. But if you do, that's fine too. So we got 5 minutes, and we'll be kicking off right at the top of the hour. So, man, I'm fired up about this because, you know, this changes your life, right? I just read an article this morning. Hey, somebody just put some in the chat. All right, Dan. U.S. Air Force grad pilot. Hey, retired 2005, man. What kind of planes were you flying in the Air Force, Dan? What kind of planes did you fly, sir? Because I spent a lot of time with the Air Force. All right, KC-135 tanker. You know what, man? I love it. When I served in the Ranger Battalion, I always like to tell people one of the coolest moments I had serving in special ops, and I was in special ops a total of 14 years with the Rangers and the Green Berets combined, 13, 14 years in special ops. And we flew Air Force 53 helicopters from Savannah, Georgia, all the way to Arkansas, Fort Smith, Arkansas. And the cool, this is way before cell phones. This is like, 1980, 87, 88 time frame. This was way before cell phones and you had video capability. So being in that Air Force 53 helicopter, and with that fuel nozzle coming out front and having those tankers come up and refuel in flight, it was cold-blooded. I get chills today thinking about it, man. It was like something off of a movie. You just seeing one at a time. The helicopters pull up to the tanker. You're sitting back here waiting for your turn, and we're watching them refuel all of these helicopters in flight. It was cold-blooded, man. So thank you for what you did, brother. That was like something out of a movie, way before we had movies. Hey, KC-135 tanker. Yeah, T1, 7. Wow, business. Okay. Helicopters are too slow. Got it, brother. I didn't know what, I just know we got refuel. KC-130. Got it. Hey, there you go, brother. Thank you for helping me out on that. All the nomenclature. I know we got an in-flight refuel from a big plane. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate that. But that still was a cool moment. And thank you for what you did too. Glad to have you on the call today. Hey, anybody else joining that would like to put your information? My son is working the YouTube channel. I know we're doing a simultaneous YouTube, and he will read off your information really for both of these. So what's going to happen in 2 minutes, we're going to kick it off. My son will do an introduction. I have about a 20-minute class I'm going to teach. 15 to 20 minutes max. I'll teach that class. And then at the end of that, or while the class is going on, if you want to put questions in the chat about maybe something I'm covering, or about a question about filing for VA benefits, put that in the chat even while I'm teaching the class. And what'll happen after that, I'll stop the share here, and you'll just be seeing me, and then we can just get your questions answered about filing for VA benefits. Of course, if we can help you out with Champions for Veterans, we'll talk about how to do that later. But man, just right now, I love visiting with you. All right, we got under 1 minute. We like that, hitting the line of departure time right on target, just like when you were in the military, right? You cross the LD, ready to fight. So less than a minute, and my son's going to pick up from there, and then we're going to click and get started with the class. Thank you all again for coming on, spending time with us today. We value that so much. Thank you so much. All right, get my swig. You'll see me drinking a lot of water during the presentation. All right. There's my son. He made it back.
I'm here. I'm here. Hey, everybody, this is Gino Johnson, CEO of Champions for Veterans, and I'm excited for all those who are here watching this teaching from my dad, Ranger Johnson, and we really appreciate you being on with us. As you can see, we are a organization, and as you've heard, organization that's devoted to helping you get the benefits you deserve through the VA, and always feel free to reach out to us. As my dad already said during this call, we'll both be kind of answering questions, so please put anything in the chat. I'll make sure he's aware of that as he continues to teach, and be ready to actually get your questions answered by the end of the call today. But yeah, this is the second of 3 teachings this month. We're actually going to be having our last one next Thursday night, the 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we are going to be discussing the PACT Act. So you really want to hop on that call, because so many of you veterans are impacted by the PACT Act, and we know you want to go after getting the benefits you've earned, because it's going to be beneficial for you and your family. So thanks so much for being on this call, and I'll pass over to my dad, Ranger Johnson, to get us started.
Hey, thank you so much, son. I appreciate that. Hey, vets, this is Ranger Johnson. I'm locked and loaded today, man. I'm telling you, I'm fired up and ready to go. I'm going to teach a class today, 5 easiest VA claims to win. And while I'm teaching the class, my son already said, any questions, put them in the chat. This class is probably going to go about 15, 20 minutes long. We don't like doing too long a class, because we like taking the majority of time doing these presentations to answer questions from our veterans that give us a call. So if you got a question, put it in the chat. My son will read that at the end, and I will answer those questions. And we're probably not going to go more than about 45 to 50 minutes total time. Thank you so much. All right, let's jump into it. 5 easiest VA claims to win. Here we go. Number 1, tinnitus. Tinnitus is, in fact, a 10% issue. And let me just talk about that. It can be from noise. You get that loud noise ringing in the ear. A lot of us will get it. It may be left or right side, or it could be both. Could be continuous going on. It could be different times that you hear that. Now, people that are on flight lines in loud places like Navy ships, firing weapons, aircraft crew will have that tinnitus, 10%. And that is one of the ones that are easy. Let me just say this, and y'all got to hear me out on this. The reason we push vets to go after those easy claims, you never know what's secondary to tinnitus. Quick example. One of our veterans in our course, he ended up getting 10% tinnitus, and through the research that we taught him, he ended up getting tinnitus. He had also migraine headaches, and he got his migraine headaches tied secondary to tinnitus. So he got 10% for tinnitus and 50% for migraine headaches. A lot of people, oh, don't go after that. It's only 10%. I never say that. because you never know what is secondary to that 10% issue, and you can move on from there. One of the things we tell vets, just tell the truth. Guys, if we wouldn't lie, we'd get our benefits. Oh my God, is he calling veterans liars? No, we lie and say we're not hurt. We don't tell the truth. You do like I did for many years. I'm fine. Drive on. Because that's what they taught us to do. Big one, tinnitus, 10%. Take a look at it. All right. What job did you perform while serving? I love this picture. Everybody I know that served in the military has got an action shot. So yeah, that's me in that picture right there, but put yourself in that picture, meaning you've already done the job. This is not welfare we're teaching. This is for faring well. That's me when I served in the Ranger Battalion. You see that big parachute in front, or the parachute, a reserve I got my hands on. I'm sitting on the main parachute. You see a big rucksack and my weapon off to the right here. You see that. Now, how many times have you gone and performed tasks that hurt your back, hurt yourself in some kind of way? And I guarantee you got the receipts on your body to prove it. So go after those things, because these benefits are set up for you, period. Next, shaving profile. I won't even try to say that word because it's a long word that I can't pronounce. The acronym is PFB, for shaving profile. And it doesn't have to be people of dark complexion. I know people of light complexion that have issues with shaving and shaving profiles. Okay, this is another big one you can go after because of all the things that happen while you're in. One of the things we talk about all the time is, 90% of what I'm paid on today, I received after I retired, because I didn't have medical evidence. So we teach you in the course how to go get your medical evidence, how to get to see doctors and get this stuff in your file. I served in special ops, so you weren't going to be on sick call every other day if you wanted to stay in the Green Berets or the Ranger Battalion. It wasn't going to happen. So I had to build my case after I retired, and that's what I did. And we teach you how to do that, Champions for Veterans. Shaving profile number 2. Next, limitation of range of motion, say for your knee. All right. Let me give you some things probably that you've done. Could be you have a parachute badge, hazardous duty, pilot. I mean, I've talked to pilots who sitting in one position for so long on an aircraft, a helicopter, right? Man, over the time, knees. PT, running PT. What about road marches? I mean, walking on tarmacs. This is another one. What about a dental assistant? You're bending over a chair all day. Boom, your back hurts over time doing that. What about a clerk sitting there typing, a clerk typist? Limitation of range of motion is real. Now you've gotten older, that knee won't bend like it used to. That body part just doesn't bend. Arthritis is set in. Limitation of range of motion, easy to go for. Drive and determination. Y'all, if you're on the call right now, let me tell you what I know about you. You're already a winner. You have drive, you have determination. You've already proven that. Our job with Champions for Veterans is just simply help you and show you the way on how to move forward and get these things. Because I'm a product of the product, right? I'm a product of the product. I mean, just a little bit about us, I was volunteering helping vets for years. I retired from the Army in 2000. I did 20 years in, from 1980 to 2000. While I served in the U.S. Army, I served in some of the toughest, roughest units in the Army. I was infantry. I was Army drill sergeant. I did 2 years in a commando unit called the Ranger Battalion, 1st and 75th Ranger Battalion. Then I left the Ranger Battalion. I went to the Special Forces qualification course and became a Green Beret. So I did 11 years as a Green Beret. So when it comes to hardcore, rough and rugged, I've been there, done it, got the t-shirt. So when I'm talking to vets, it's not about just walking around saying I'm not hurt. Tell the truth. So when I retired in 2000, they gave me 10% for my back. Well, they didn't give it to me for my back, really. They gave me 10% for tinnitus. I had to fight to get my back taken care of. So I've been there, retired, couldn't hardly walk to the mailbox and wondering how to get these VA benefits, and had literally to work my way up. And it took me 17 years to get there. Because I write and publish books, I wrote about it and just started volunteering, helping vets in our area, man. During COVID, my son saw what I was doing. He called me. I mean, my son's a CPA. He was working for a major corporation. He called me one day. He said, "Dad, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Man, I'm just helping vets get their VA benefits." He's like, "What is that?" Because he didn't know what that was. And I said, "Well, when you get out of the military, son, they got some VA benefits sitting there for you, but you got to know how to go at it. And I'm helping guys do that." He's like, "We can make that an online course." So during COVID, that's what we did. Next one. Neck pain, easy to go after. Injuries, a carrying heavy rucksack, hurt while training, flying jets. I mean, I'm amazed that we started this program. So I've had great conversations with many people doing many jobs. And I remember talking to a pilot that flew jets. He's like, "Man, you're looking up, you're twisting your neck, you're doing all kinds of things. And there's an issue. Obstacle courses, sitting with your neck a certain way, even sitting at a desk for so long. Neck pain, very easy to go after. Tell the truth. Yeah, we could help more vets if we wouldn't lie. Oh my God. Am I calling you a liar? I'm not. I'm just saying we lie. And I put myself in that same boat. What do I mean by that? You go to the doctor. Doc says, "What's going on here?" "Doc, I'm fine." Man, that's what hurt me for years. Yeah, it took me 17 years to get my benefits. Most of that time was trying to get all this hardcore Ranger Green Beret and got to walk in here and not no pain stuff. Get that out. No, I'm jacked up, Doc. My neck hurts. I can't hardly bend it. Yeah, tell the truth. Number 5, PTSD. So these are mental health issues that the VA will compensate you for. Over 31 conditions the VA will pay you for. That's dealing with PTSD, in-service stressors, injuries, car accident, rape. You witnessed a rape, fear for your life in combat, fear for your life. Maybe you're in a training incident that happened. Secondary conditions, chronic pain. So right now I'm paid 30% PTSD for chronic pain because of how it makes me feel that I can't run or do the things that I need to do. We teach you how to get the buddy statements. We show you how to do that. I mean, let's be honest. I talked to a veteran yesterday that served in Korea. Still a Korean conflict. The war is not over. It's still a Korean conflict. It's a ceasefire over there. And he served in the 2nd Infantry Division in Korea. And he was telling me how he felt when incursions from North Korea coming over, different things that have to go on alert and be sitting out there in the woods. And he was a clerk. But he said every time we went to the woods on exercise, we still had an infantry unit right there, security. So there's things that you've gone through in training. Military sexual trauma. I won't say all, but I will say a high percentage of the females, and this can be males too, it can be males too, but a high percentage of the females I've talked to, and I feel very comfortable saying 8 out of 10 females that I've personally spoken with since we started the company have had military sexual trauma. Someone asking for a sexual favor, someone saying something to them on a ship or in somewhere they were, and pushing them or touching them in some kind of way. And 8 out of 10 women that I've talked to that served had issues with this. A lot of them don't want to write it up. They feel, they have fear even now. and having to talk them through that. Some are more embarrassed. Some of them think it happened because, I mean, it was their fault. So these are things that we encourage. We know veterans that are in car accidents while they were in the military or on orders and not applying for those things because they said, well, I was off base in a car accident. Still things you can file for. How do these things make you feel? Veterans that served in combat. Then we get vets that serve in combat, and one of the first things I ask, did you fear for your life? Now, that yes or no. These are things that we talk to veterans about that you're eligible to file for. And we normalize it because it was our job. And I get it. But today it stops. These are things you can go for, and these benefits are going to help you and your family, period. Listen, there are over 800 possible issues the VA will rate you on. Over 800. And you'd be shocked at the different things that really you could get a rating for, service-connected rating, but we're not doing it for one reason or another. These are the 5 quick things that we just talked about. If you got your questions in the chat, start putting them forward. I'm going to bring this ship in for a landing in just a couple of more moments. Thank you so much. These are the notes. So in order to get paid on these things, you must have a current diagnosis. You must have symptoms. Let me just talk about these real quick. So if I'm dealing with a veteran, you say, well, I hurt my right knee in Okinawa. I was in the Marine Corps back in 1985, but I'm fine now. No symptoms whatsoever. Well, you don't have a symptom. So that would not be. But if you say, you know what, I hurt my knee back in Okinawa in 1975, and now, I'm 65 years old, and that same right knee that I hurt in 1975, I've had a knee replacement. Now you got an issue. Or that same right knee I hurt back in 1975, man, it's a problem right now. Now we're moving in the right direction. So again, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Don't lie. I said over and over again, tell the truth. So you need an explanation why current disability was caused or made worse by your service. We teach you how to do that through our statements and what we already have our packages. We show you how to write this stuff up and just tell the truth about it. I mean, I've helped Vietnam veterans that we had a Vietnam vet that was getting 10% literally for over 40 plus years after Vietnam. And we helped them go from 10% to 100% by just how to put this packet together. Okay. So you need to document the severity of your symptoms. We show you how to do all of that. Documentation, how to get to the doctor, how to move that process forward. Don't have any fear, just tell the truth. You hear the theme over and over again. Tell the truth. You don't have to be Superman or Superwoman, get your benefits, but you do have to move forward with the process. Next thing, you need a medical doctor's involvement. You're going to have a medical doctor's involvement. We teach whether it's civilian, great, or a VA doctor. Now, let me just say this. All VA doctors are not bad. All civilian doctors are not good, right? When I moved to South Louisiana, I started working with a VA doctor, and my VA doctor is incredible. As a matter of fact, when I started going to see him, I remember being in the office one day. Let me get a good swig here. And I made a critical error talking to my VA doctor. I said, they said I'm not going to be able to. He said, who is they? Well, they said, don't tell me nothing they said. I'm asking you about, are you injured? How are your knees? Are you in pain? Yes or no? I said, yes, sir. Great. I can remember going to see him again. He even said, hey, have you filed for your knees? I said, no, sir. Then I went back 6 months later to see him again. He said, have you filed for your knees? I said, no, sir. He said, why? Do they hurt? Yes, sir. Weren't you a paratrooper? Yes, sir. Well, file for your knees and ankles, which I did. So I'm getting 10% each knee, 10% each ankle. because my VA doctor encouraged me to file and just tell the truth. All right. So you're going to have a medical doctor's involvement. It can be a civilian, it can be a VA doctor, but you're going to have that. 90% of what I'm paid on today was not in my military record. I'm paid 50% for bilateral hearing loss through these hearing aids. When in my record when I retired, I'm paid 50% for sleep apnea. I didn't get that service connected to 13 years after retirement. But we tell you how to do it. We teach how to do that legally and above board in the right way. This is a big one. This comes from va.gov. This is their statement from va.gov. The PACT Act and your VA benefits. The PACT Act is a new law that expands VA health care and benefits for veterans exposed to burn pits and other toxic substances. This law helps us from the VA provide generations of veterans and their survivors with the care and benefits they've earned and deserve. The next class I'm going to teach is going to be, my son talked about it. I'll just look at my calendar and quickly tell you. It's going to be February the 23rd, 2000 hours Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do a webinar on the PACT Act. So even if you're here today, I want you to come on board that night and hear all the different things. Vets, this is life-changing. It's a lot to teach. I'm not going to get into it now, but I want to encourage you to come back on the 23rd of this month. That's Thursday night, 2000 hours Eastern Standard Time. Tune in for a webinar about the PACT Act. Please don't miss that. It can have a great impact on your family. All right. So how we help? Glad you asked that question. We have an online program called the Ranger Method that gives you the tools you need to get the rating you've earned. We have coaching and a veteran community, winning statement templates. What do we mean by that? The statements that we have are winning statements. These are copies of statements, okay, without the veteran's information in, that these veterans have gotten 90 to 100%. All our statements are winning statements. We teach you how to take your information, put that in those statements, and move your case forward. And a great teaching. You can like and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and other things like that. My son's going to go over more details on how to get in the course at the end. You can go to our website, www.championsforveterans.com. And you can click and you can subscribe, or you can click and you can schedule time with a free consult with one of our veteran coaches, where they'll walk you through the things you need to do to get started. All right, I'm going to stop it and we're going to go to questions and get your questions answered right now. I'm going to let my son help me out and kind of start going through that. All right, son, you got any questions from the vets you want to tell me about?
No, sir. No questions. I think you answered all the questions. I guess we don't have any right now.
Okay. All right. All right. Anybody with any questions you got? No questions whatsoever? Going once, going twice. Any questions you got? All right. All right. Well, if no questions, I'm going to let my son tell you a few things, and then I'll close the call out. Thank y'all so much for listening. Appreciate that. And I'll come back after my son kind of tells you more about how to get involved with us. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we'd love to kind of meet with you all and talk to you about your case specifically. You can do that by scheduling a consultation using the link I put in the chat here in Zoom, or by going to our website, www.championsforveterans.com. You have about a 45-minute consultation you'll get set up with. What we want you to do is to do the assessment before you get on the call, which kind of goes over all the different things you can apply for and be ready to discuss that, as well as to hear from our coaches and get support in this process as you move forward to get the benefits you deserve. So that is all I have to share.
All right. Thank you so much, son. I appreciate that. Hey, everybody, it's been phenomenal. Hope you guys have been blessed and gotten some information today from this short webinar on 5 easy things that you can apply for and start getting your BA benefits or move that forward. But this is Ranger Johnson, and you know how I got to finish this call. telling you.